Welcome everyone. Today, day whatever of the second year anniversary of the KWCC, and today we're going to be reading for you from a special place with
Yes,
with
yes, yes.
with the three main KWCs already read at this point. We're going to be reading for to you. We're going to be reading you a special match from the KWC expanded section of the KWC.
Yes.
And this one was the April Fool's Day match for the KWCE, the very first one. And who knows? Well, we might get more in the future. But I am very much proud to present match 069. Thy Lord Shrek versus a lot of monsters. Very true to its name. And this is
the best match ever made.
yes. And this is my swamp. And we're going to get right into it. So, KWCE number 069, Thy Lord Shrek versus a lot of monsters. Written by some asshole known as Godzilla versus Jason, or Alex Williams.
Or Alex Williams, as he likes to be called now. Oh shit, that was the one parentheses I was going to make the exception for.
All seemed to be going well in the proud land of Toho, as a certain individual was elected who promised to make things great again. And from the looks of it, people were more happy than ever. However, there were others who were disgusted by the election results and vowed never to let go of what happened on that day. They threw massive riots out on the streets, persecuting the masses who voted the now elected prime minister, boycotting certain products, and even did some meaningless bitching on the internet. It was almost as if this election divided the fan base. I mean population in half to where they could no longer have a civilized conversation. Now, all both sides do is get into some fights, really pathetic ones, even to where they act like they're in a Kaiju movie by waving their arms around and sweat to death before laying the first punch. Today was a very important one, where the Prime Minister was to finally achieve one of his many goals he promised during his running. This of course divided the population. Several people were cheering and showing their support, while others were protesting. One of the many chants that could be heard outside the Tokyo Capitol building was, "Not
Now,
my
everyone,
Godzilla!
not my Godzilla!
Not my Godzilla!"
My Godzilla.
The protesters and the fans were on the verge of a full-scale war on the Prime Minister's big day, but fortunately a group of men in red and green, all 7 of them, kept the peace. But for how long? In the Capitol building, loud footsteps echoed through the halls as the Prime Minister arrived at the door and opened it. He found his cabinet sitting in their respective seats without emotion, while he got his very own seat and sat down.
This is the welcome that I greatly respect, and it's the main reason why I chose you all as my cabinet staff. It's gonna be great, fantastic.
The Prime Minister said with little to no emotion in his voice.
Thank you, Prime Minister Shin Godzilla.
One of the cabinet members said to the Godzilla.
Hey, we didn't hear you.
I heard him. I heard him.
Number?
Oh, who just read?
I did.
Yeah.
Oh. Oh.
One of the cabinet members said to the Godzilla wearing a suit and having a yellowish brown toupee covering the top of his head.
Now, I'm really excited, because today is the day the wall is finally being built, and most importantly of all, Daya is paying for it. It's gonna be great.
All the members of his cabinet nodded with approval, with the only woman on the staff constantly repeating to herself, "I want to be president.
I want to be president."
Who just read? I can't hear.
Is it not working?
We did, but go ahead.
Is it? Can you guys not hear me?
Oh. You're not gonna be president at any time, so be grateful that you're part of my cabinet in the first place.
Shin said, silencing the woman.
Prime Minister, Mr. Prime Minister, how are we going to?
I can't hear anyone who's saying the actual dialogue.
Yeah, I don't.
Jesus.
Is it
I
not
can
working?
hear everyone. I can hear everyone. So
Can you guys
GVZ
not hear-
Nago to
oh,
speak.
Hold on. Hold up.
Hello?
Yep.
I think I'm
Okay,
glitching
go
out.
then,
Let me
speak.
reset my Discord.
DBZ.
He's talking. He's
Read,
talking.
Yes.
Mr. Prime Minister. Read that line.
Okay. Mr. Prime Minister, how are we going to have DIA pay for the wall? They're
Is it working? Is it working? Can you
Okay,
guys hear
now
me
we can
now?
hear Nagoda. Yeah, we can hear
Okay,
Nagoda now.
I reset my Discord, so
Oh, that's why. Okay.
Yeah, let Joe
yeah.
read this line.
Because you guys couldn't hear me earlier, so.
Yeah. Let Joe read the line. So.
I
I
did.
thought-
Yeah, I did.
So are we just waiting on Kaiju.C.E now?
All right. One of the nameless cabinet members questioned, causing a rare look of emotion on Shin.
Oh.
Anger.
Get out. You're questioning me. I don't like it. And you're fired. You're
Shin.
fired. I'm saying my traditional trademark line.
Shin roared out with an all too familiar roar, almost as if it was ripped out of someone else. The nameless cabinet member walked out, emotionless as Shin looked at the rest of his cabinet and asked.
I didn't hear that, Kaiju. Now, is anyone else going to question me?
The cabinet looked to each other with silence and said nothing.
How about you? Are you going to question me, ranch dressing?
Shin asked, the bottle containing ranch sitting at the seat closest to him. Pass. Great shot.
Right shot.
Oh, you
Okay.
passed?
Yeah.
I
Yes,
didn't
we're
hear that.
passing.
The Prime Minister waited a whole minute for the condiment to speak until it merely just fell over. Shin Godzilla nodded and said,
Thank you for your answer. That's one of the many, many reasons why I chose you. Not only are you a tremendous guy, but you were a very handsome lead in our movie. Not that I'm gay or anything. Just like how I don't have romantic feelings for a certain guy, who I certainly don't have any ties to, who will make the movie, even though he's a tremendous guy, wonderful guy.
all members of the
Everything we had to do today, because I honestly forgot.
Shin received no answer, gave them 2 thumbs up, and said,
Good, because I want to go on my Twitter and find out what people are saying about me, even though it's been 5 months since I've been elected, and
Mr. Shin. Mr. Shin.
A messenger barged through the door with a worried expression on his yelled out.
oh shit, I forgot to.
Oh,
God
oops.
damn it, I forgot that one.
Hey, I remember this. This is all written by
Oh.
GJ. So, remember, a worried expression on his yelled out. Causing
Just
Shin
adds to the charm. Unlike Grayshot, I actually embrace my mistakes.
Yes.
causing Shin to jump and
And
shot.
that's why people like me.
I didn't even see this one. I saw it.
I
Wait,
didn't even see it, so. Alright, keep reading.
In shock from the loud, emotion-filled voice. The jump caused Shin to hit his head on the nearest wall, forcing him to be unbalanced. Shin turned around to see the now scared messenger and let out a small, familiar growl.
First off, what I say about emotion?
Trying his best to have little to no emotion as possible.
Second off, don't ever scare or bump into me again. It makes me feel off balance, and nobody wants that. They want a prime minister who's fully aware of what he's doing, even though they claim I never have full.
It's just that there's something I need to show that may grind your gears.
Read.
The
messenger said.
The messenger said while putting a laptop on his desk as Shin tried to throw his arms up, but could merely only get them an inch.
At all. But what I'm about to show you could be a potential threat to the nation of Toho.
Great shot.
The messenger said as he prepared to play the video on the device. No.
No. Hey, no.
Sorry.
I don't want to see it on a tiny screen. I want to see whatever you're going to show me on the huge flat screen in here that I bought with the taxpayers' money.
Shin voiced his objection as the messenger sighed in annoyance and went over to connect the device. Shortly after, the messenger played the video as everyone in the room began to watch it. The first was on around the perimeter with very small critters performing the creation. There were 3 blind mice struggling to carry a cement piece, but soon collapsed. all while three pigs and a very ugly woman began placing pieces onto a structure that looks very much like a wall. Finally, smiling after as the cabinet began talking amongst themselves when the messenger said,
That's all the footage we building a wall.
Shin's eyes boiled from seeing the video and immediately roared out,
No one but me gets to build a wall. I don't care what the reasons are. I want this solved now,
But
like very
sir,
soon.
how are we going to solve this? But
One of the many things I promised during my run, going to war. It's my favorite thing. I love it. Very great.
Shin announced, causing the members to discuss amongst themselves.
Mr.
Mister,
Shin.
we simply cannot declare war
Oh,
on someone.
Dakota, I
Wait,
think
what?
that was someone else. I think that
Was
was
it someone else?
Yeah, I think it's a different cabinet member.
Yeah.
Like I
Is
said,
it?
Dakota, you're kind of the messenger while everyone gets
Okay.
to take a cabinet member.
Okay.
Yeah.
Someone go.
Mr. Prime Minister, we can't construction work.
I don't care. We'll just say that they're building weapons of mass destruction because all my fans will anything I say.
But is it though?
Yes.
Yes.
Shin declared as he practically ignored the cabinet's comment.
Since there's no use in reasoning with you, what exactly going to use as a military force against this ogre?
A cabinet member asked.
What did I say about questioning me?
Shin asked, causing the cabinet member to look ashamed.
Toho against this ugly ogre.
Showa Godzilla then poked his head through the door as he gasped happily at the news that Shin, not even facing him, said.
Except for you, no one wants you. You're not important. Now go away.
Showa lowered his head the screen partially at the ogre and said,
You're going to war. Prepare to be invaded.
Monster Island. Pass.
Were doing their usual activities when multiple airplanes zipped past, dropping a few packages. The kaiju all walked up to the boxes as their leader, Godzilla, picked up one of the boxes to find a recorder. And pressed the button.
Hello, tremendous soldiers of Toho. This is your amazing Prime Minister, Shin Godzilla. I'm just gonna cut to the chase. There's a grid terrorist that needs to be destroyed at a swamp, so you're all gonna go to war. Prepare to be invaded.
What their Prime Minister meant when the recording then went on.
I didn't mean to say that. Can we re-record? No? Okay, just ignore the last part and the other part about me being invaded. I need you to invade the green monster and get him out of future territory of Toho. Also, in case with this recording are some tapes from those evil illegal cockroaches that'll help you all communicate with each other better. Make Toho great again.
The recording ended as Godzilla then pressed the button on the tape as he gained.
Wait, who's Godzilla?
I don't think anyone chose Godzilla, so
Alright.
I'll take it.
Great
Oh,
shot.
Okay.
where's Godzilla? Okay. Looks like we're going to war for no reason.
Okay, who's Rodan?
Did we actually go over the roles?
Yeah,
Great
I'm
shot.
the male Muto. I remember that.
Yeah,
Great shot could be Rodan.
Okay,
Gray Shot
okay.
be Rodan.
Wait.
Rodan complained.
I didn't hear a line you said, Gray Shot. Could you repeat that again?
Something completely pointless and boring.
Rodan complained.
Fair enough. If we don't do what he says, he's gonna make us listen to his boring cabinet and looking to what happened to Kamakuris. I'll do what he says.
Heisei Godzilla answered as he pointed to the brain-dead Kamakuris. The other kaiju residents cringed at seeing the mantis and all nodded in agreement as they then began moving towards the ocean water when he then saw the little one known as Mothra larva. The atomic saurian blocked the worm as it cocked its head to the side in confusion.
Sorry, little one, but you won't be needed. It has to do with the fact that you can't do anything but spray webs, and according to some people, that's very boring.
And look on its face. The atomic saurian shook his head in annoyance at the stupidity of this mission that the Prime Minister was sending them on. He only hoped it'll end quickly with the ogre either dying or himself getting killed. The Bikini Atoll. Oh, that's probably me after watching Shin Godzilla. While watching Shin Godzilla. Many others would point his favorite pastime. Most others would point out. Others would point out him. The truth was, he was simply too damn tired to hardly do anything, and didn't want to deal with everyone's shit these days. The box the creature's head, causing him to stir out of sleep. Blinking his eyes a few times, his eyes rolled up to see a box slipping off his head. And opening it to find the recorder encased inside.
And somehow it didn't short-circuited.
Yeah.
He slowly rose up and began making his way towards his destination, simply because he couldn't stand steering clear of him. He would rather be around his mortal enemies, the Mutos and Cutaways instead of him. To do was sleep, eat my applesauce, and tell my grandchildren of old war stories, if I had any. Legendary grumbled while slowly walking through the deep blue sea. G4 space.
Let's go, let's go, let's go. We need these mechs primed and ready.
The supervisor yelled out as soldiers and engineers were scrambling all over the base. The staff were fueling the mechs. Mechagodzilla 2, Mogera, and Kiryu.
Commander!
An engineer ran up, gaining the...
Here's attention.
What is it?
What is
it?
Apparently it's the three-headed engineer.
Great shot.
Oh, we got all the mechs fueled up, except for we can't fuel other.
What? What do you mean you can't get that one fueled up?
The commander asked furiously.
Private Jimmy, the fuel source is banned from any G-Force building.
The engineer answered.
Oh, that's right. Poor Private Jimmy.
The commander said. The commander's taking a moment.
Then where the hell are we going to get the fuel source?
Your average
Frat party.
Woo! Party! A college student yelled out before barfing while many young adults were loud music.
What the fuck is at the floor?
Soon enough, multiple G-Force soldiers barged through the front door, and stopped the music. Hey man, I also didn't see this at first.
Yeah. Whoops.
That explains
Yeah,
why it's so messed up.
Drunk.
Hi.
yeah.
bro, we're only having fun. You can't stop the pot.
You need like a warrant for that.
A clearly drunk one then said.
I guess Nicola could go.
Okay. Official G-Force business. We're confiscating all your beer.
G-Force soldier said while they were grabbing cases of beer and even whatever kegs they could find.
Not cool, bro-hos. You can't just steal someone's beer.
The party goers yelled out when a member of G-Force turned around.
Oh, is it my turn? Or
Yep.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
Dakota.
Okay.
Dakota, go.
To help compensate, we'll be giving out discounts to places that still promote Shin Godzilla food, even though it should be way past its promotion time limit.
The G-Force announced. The G-Force announced while throwing out coupons and then leaving.
In
Also
case you
missed
didn't
that.
notice, that was a reference to all those pointless reviews on Toho Kingdom.
Hit. Nice.
Nebula M78. On second thought, everyone who is reading this is probably wanting to see the damn fight already. So like a shitty movie, we're going to fast forward the introductions.
If
Past.
this was a Tom match, we'd still be introducing everyone.
He is.
Yeah,
Yep. You said pass, right?
I
Yeah.
did say past.
Okay. Shrek slump.
I heard sex club. Am I the only
Going
one?
on a steady pace. Was still going on a steady pace as the inhabitants were working really well with each other. They were all telling each other jokes and having a good time, despite what many would think would be a miserable job. Or was then opened, revealing the famous green ogre known as Shrek, followed building that 10-foot tall. Shrek's smile soon faded when he saw the little gingerbread man known as Gingy running towards him, screaming. The ogre kneeled down to his little friend and asked,
The big Greg, there's a giant monster out by the swamp and it's really scary looking. A really
he
scary
announced,
looking one.
he announced with horror in
A monster, huh? If there was one, then I would have known about it.
Shrek chuckled.
Ha ha ha. No, it's hiding in the swamp. You have to check it out for yourself.
Gingy replied, still shaken up by what he.
And confirm what kind of monster it is. It may be out of dinner tonight. Heck, I'm really in the mood for fish.
Shrek smiled at the thought of fish as he began making his way towards the swamp.
Please be careful out there, Shrek.
Gingy called out. Shrek asked while walking over to the swamp, when he then felt tentacles slithering around his feet.
Oh. What?
I've never
GPC,
read.
could you repeat that again?
What the hell?
Shrek yelled
I
out
think
before being yanked off his feet and into the air as the aquatic kaiju known as Kaishin Muba surfaced from the murky depths.
You're welcome, KWC community.
It's not like
Kaishin-
there's already an awesome match that has that.
Face and growled. All the while, Shrek looked back at the water god and said,
No wonder Gingy was so afraid of you. You're one ugly fella, ain't ya?
The aquatic kaiju let out a roar as it threw Shrek across the swamp and into the unfinished wall. Right away, the wall crumbled as Shrek quickly dug himself out of the ruins. The ogre turned to see his wall completely destroyed, with anger filling his eyes.
Kicking your ass.
Shrek roared out as he smashed his hands together and felt himself growing to 50 meters. Kaishin Muba's eyes widened with shock at seeing Shrek grow to a tremendous height.
One would think it would be widened technically.
But he still had a duty to do. A duty to fulfill to Toho, even though he was largely forgotten and will never be in another movie again. He charged towards the ogre with courage.
Courage!
Towards him and ran towards the kaiju. Kaishin Muba used his tentacles to latch onto Shrek, but to no avail. The ogre bulldozed through the tentacles. The severed tentacles dropped to the ground as Kaishin Muba screeched with immense a kick on Muba's stomach, sending him a few feet away. The water god shook his head only to find the ogre yet again running towards him. Kaishin Muba decided to use the jewel on his head as a last defense and quickly fired it at the charging foe. The ray didn't even phase Shrek as he ignored it and reached the water god, grabbed the kaiju, and threw it at the conveniently placed giant barbecue grill. Kaishin Muba screeched
Grisha,
and
laugh. I command it.
I'll laugh when I see something funny.
Kaishin Muba screeched amounts of pains as the grill was sizzling through his flesh. All Shrek did was watch with satisfaction as the fish-like creature was being cooked for destroying his wall. Right away, the majority of Shrek's friends lined up at the grill with plates while they were
Ha ha ha.
Hey,
Oh, you
make
know
sure
it's
you.
funny.
You didn't
Hey,
laugh, so I had to do that.
Hey, make sure you save me a piece, since I cooked the damn thing.
Shrek called out and ran over to take his place in line when he heard a slimy-looking monster known as Hedora as it gurgled a challenge. The ogre groaned at having to fight another monster today, but accepted the challenge nonetheless. Shrek got ready to fight the smog monster. And finally, another. The kaiju known as... Yeah, and another. Hey, there was a finally there. You can't do that. Known as Hedora, Megalon, Red King, Mechagodzilla,
Showa, not those other carbon copies. They come later.
and the Edgelord himself. His enemy combatants and only knew one thing about them. Practice dummies. All the villainous kaiju, minus Red King, charged up their beams, wanting to annihilate Shrek on the spot, but the ogre had other plans. Shooting bullet landed behind Red King. Landed behind Red King. Before the before the literal dickhead knew it, Shrek kicked him into the middle and was instantly vaporized by his allies' raw firepower.
Make sure you drink some of Godzilla's Go-Gurt.
Jeez.
Okay. The kaiju, including Bagan, were shocked at what they had done, and turned to face Shrek, having a smirk on his face. The kaiju growled at him, as all Shrek did was motion with his right hand for them to come at him. They charged at Shrek, ready to give it everything they got when the ogre elbowed Megalon in the face, causing the Ceetopian god projectiles. The weapons had a slight effect on Shrek as he let out a yell of annoyance. But it would last for long as he.
Oh, it wouldn't last for long.
It wouldn't last for long as reached for his machine, like a machine gun. Shrek threw the onions at the three villains, causing their beams to hit them and explode on impact. Soon enough, the onions pushed the beams back and landed on the three kaiju, dealing heavy wounds on them. Hedorah, quickly formed into his flying mode and flew to a safe zone in the battlefield, while Bacon was able to withstand enough to erect a force field. Mechagodzilla, however, wasn't as lucky, as it was overwhelmed by the onions and exploded into pieces. Now that the overwhelming fire was over, Shrek took a moment to breathe. But it wasn't for long when he felt something piercing his back. He let out a mighty ogre roar, as he then noticed it was Melville digging its claws into his back. Shrek struggled to get the parasite off of him while the Moodle taunted the ogre.
Great shot.
Oh, I always wanted to try ogre, and I bet your blood, among other things, will be perfect drink for my meal.
The male Muto said with a creepy voice that would make everyone, except for those 5 people on the internet, scared shitless. Shrek continued to try and get the Muto off of him, when he then felt himself being launched into a few trees by the other, larger Muto. The ogre then collapsed on his back to hear the Mutos walking towards him and talking among themselves.
Save some ogre for me. After all, a woman has got to eat to keep our babies healthy.
The female Muto cooed.
You're the alpha, after all. And well,
Okay.
now I understand why you chose me for this. You said you got to be this character.
Gray Shot replied. Soon enough, the two Moodles looked over the downed Shrek and licked their lips at the meal they're about to have. The head. The ogre sprang up. Shrek kicked the female Muto, sending her miles away and grabbing the male Muto. Shrek jumped into the air with the smaller Muto still in his hand as he began to fly high in the sky, hundreds and hundreds of feet to the and the Muto looked down as the foe locked eyes with Shrek. All he could see was Shrek growing a devilish-looking smile on his face as the Muto began to panic.
No!
The Muto screeched before Shrek threw him with a mighty ogre throw. Normally, the Muto would be able to get out of this type of situation by flying, but from the way the ogre threw him, there was no hope for him. Shrek chased after the falling Muto, and on his way noticed another potential commenting coming down at a much, much slower pace. Gigan was floating down with a parachute due to the fact that he just got out of surgery for his wings. The Cyclops was involved in a skiing trip with his best friends, Megalon and King Ghidorah, when he was trapped in an avalanche. Long story short, he was stuck for 127 hours and had to cut them off. The ogre flew behind Gigan, who hadn't noticed him as he continued to float down. All that changed when he noticed his parachute acting funny, and soon enough felt air escaping his body. Gigan began to gag and looked around to see he was being strangled with his own parachute. The Cyclops struggled, but it was to no avail as Gigan quickly ran out of breath and his body went limp. Shrek stood on top of the now dead fallen Gigan and jumped. Shrek's brief jump landed himself back on Gigan, but felt himself falling faster due to the heavy impact. Shrek soon returned to the ground, using Gigan to break his fall. If you guys haven't noticed, my nose is getting stuffy right now, as you can probably tell. But the Cyclops was split into pieces and the ogre did a combat roll off with him. Shrek observed his surroundings and noticed a door and Bacon. The larger Muto, mourning over her mangled mate as she turned around
Kaiju
screeching.
really did love Gracia.
Yeah, let's go.
I hate you all.
We know. The three powerhouses charged at Shrek as the ogre did the same. The four collided into each other, with Shrek holding his own as the three delivered multiple punches on the surface of his skin. Shrek admittedly was having a hard time trying to focus on which one he would fight first. But fortunately for him, an idea popped into his head.
Donkey, get your ass out here.
Shrek roared out as for a moment everything went silent, when all of a sudden a happy sounding voice was heard.
I'm on my way, Shrek.
Donkey yelled out, his head back. Shrek's best friend aimed at Baggin, who then brought his head forward and hitting the edgelord with a massive headbutt, completely bypassing his horn. Not even a second later, Baggin exploded into pieces as both Hedora and the female Muto backed away in horror. One of the universe's most overpowered, overused, blank kaiju was just eliminated by a mere headbutt. Shrek quickly grabbed the female Muto with his powerful ogre hands, causing her to panic as he reached underneath her belly and ripped out the sack containing her eggs.
Jeez.
Sexy.
Oh my.
The female Muto let out an ear-piercing scream from both the pain and the loss of her babies. The larger kaiju tried to tear Shrek apart with a newly born fury, but it was no use as Shrek pulled out an onion and shoved it down her throat, suffocating her as her red eyes went dark and causing her to collapse.
Oh, I'm
All
dead.
that remained was all that remained was Adora, who backed away slowly, raising his hands in defense as a form of saying he was sorry. The smog monster tried to reach for the skies. Wait, let me read that. Tried to reach for the skies, when Shrek said.
Oh no, you don't, you slimy fella.
The ogre quickly grabbed the now panicking Hedora and carried him over to the conveniently placed blender. Shrek slammed the smog monster into the blender, placed a lid on it, and pressed the button, causing it to be blended into a dream. And drank Hedora. the the ogre
Jesus Christ, that has got to be one hell of a chaser.
He died already. It's okay. The ogre smiled with satisfaction at how surprisingly good the smog monster tasted.
Sexy.
Shrek set the glass down and eyed the egg pouch and Baggin's remains. The ogre began walking towards it while Megalon slowly got up to his feet, shaking his head like he was confused on what was happening when he saw the ogre. The Utopian god then remembered why he was here and saw that Shrek was distracted. Megalon knew he only had one shot and one opportunity to do this, so he opened his mouth and fired a napalm bomb at the ogre. Shrek grabbed the bomb without even looking. The ogre turned around and threw the bomb at the now panicking Megalon, who forgot to close his mouth like the idiot he is. The bomb flew into Megalon's mouth, and a few seconds later, his whole head exploded. With glee as he then walked over to his best friend, picking up the egg sack and the remains of Baggin. Donkey was curious on what Shrek was doing with the remains and asked.
Shrek, what are you doing with those?
Shrek turned to his friend and said,
Ah, I'm glad you asked, Donkey. I'm making some bacon and eggs.
Donkey st-
Some bacon and eggs. Oh, shut up, Grayshot. You're not funny.
Oh gosh, darn it.
Bacon and eggs. Uh,
Donkey
that's my
stuck out his
favorite
tongue,
joke ever.
smiled, jumped up and down, and asked, while cooking the frying pan. Shortly after, the two began having their well-deserved meal when they heard the tree shaking Donkey pointed.
Pointed out or whatever.
It just says donkey pointed.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I think that
And it
might have been
looks
a small mistake.
Yeah,
Pointed
probably.
out.
But
Yeah.
still.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah. And it
Joe,
looks
I
like
can't hear
we've
you.
only taken up.
Oh,
Joe, I can't
What?
hear you. Can you repeat that again?
And okay. And it all right. And it looks like we've only taken out the first wave. You bet yes I am.
The two looked to the skies and saw a few ships hovering around the battlefield. Continued to hover as they then fired multiple capsules, 27 to be exact. Shrek let out a smirk as he pulled out a shotgun and began shooting the capsules, causing them to become nothing, almost as if he were treating it as a sport. Unfortunately for him, 5 capsules made it to the ground and exploded, thus revealing the terror beast known as Spyler or Gilgar.
Shrek, I didn't know you had a shotgun. Where'd you get one of those? Oh, I don't own it. I'm just borrowing it for a while.
Shrek answered as he smiled. Should I pass or do you want
You
me
can pass. You can pass. So.
to... On a random commercial set, a very handsome man stood behind a kitchen counter while a can of soup was placed on it.
I didn't realize I was in this.
It's the truth about this handsome man was that every man wished to be him, and that every woman wished to be with him.
Oh, this is
And you're
definitely
all,
me.
And you're on in 3, 2, 1.
I'll be the director. And you're on in 3, 2, 1.
The director said as the man then.
such as the Evil Dead trilogy and my many, many TV show appearances.
The best person in the universe. Yes,
even better.
Hang on a sec. Can you guys repeat that bit again? Best person in the universe?
Okay, the best person in the universe.
Yes, even better than you, the reader.
Continued.
But working on those projects can be very tiring and making a man like myself very hungry. So I like to go home every day and make myself some of my own Bruce Campbell's chicken noodle soup.
The bowl of soup and took a sip out of it. He looked at the camera, winked at it, and said,
Delicious. After finishing this delicious soup, all I want to say is that this soup fills me up like when I shoot the bad guy with my trusty boomstick.
The actor reached for his boomstick, only to realize that it wasn't there. Bruce Campbell's left eye began to twitch when he then said,
Where the hell is my boomstick?
back to the battleground.
It would be alright if I could, pass it to me. That's alright.
No, I can't hear you.
Pass to me.
Oh, pass? Okay, pass.
Okay. Shrek and Donkey faced the marching terror beasts as they heard more loud footsteps coming from all around the battlefield. The two turned around to see Godzilla and his amazing friends, bulldozing through a section of the forest. The legendary defenders of Earth, Mothra, Leo, and Batra circled around the two. Kumasagami burst through the ground like a chest burster, calculating on where his arrows would hit. The Nebula M78 heroes known as Ultraman and Seven dropped down and nodded to their respective allies. Finally, heavy tanks known as Mechagodzilla 2, Mogira, and Kiru landed and primed their weapons. Shrek and Donkey looked at their challengers and knew one thing. This was going to be fun.
So, which one do you want?
Shrek asked. Donkey said while inspecting the horde of enemies and then said,
Let's just see where we go from here. All right. Which one of you wants a piece of me?
Shrek asked, causing all the monsters to let out their respective roars/yells and charged at him. Shrek and Donkey did the same, attacking the combatants that were the closest. Donkey bashed his head on Gorosaurus's side, causing the dinosaur to fall down to the ground. All the while, Shrek grabbed hold of Varan, jumped in the air a few feet, reorganized Varan to where his body would go head first, and performed a pile driver, instantly splitting the reptilian squirrel in half, vertically, in case you didn't know. Baragon, Batra, and Gorosaurus launched themselves at the ogre, giving it everything they got with beams and punches, but it was a fruitless attempt. Shrek just laughed at their pathetic attempt when grabbed hold of
That's a
Baragon's.
mistake.
Yeah, that was a mistake. When grabbed hold of Baragon's horn and ripped it out with ease. Baragon let out a scream of pain, almost as if he were crying, but Shrek didn't care if he backhanded the smaller dinosaur and turned his attention to Batra and Gorosaurus. Shrek looked at Gorosaurus, who he quickly used Baragon's weapon to shank Gorosaurus' stomach repeatedly. The bluish dinosaur doubled over in pain as before Batra could flee to counterattack. Shrek jammed Baragon's horn through the side of the Dark Mothra's head. The bug's red eyes darkened as it dropped to the ground, dead. He never stood a chance.
Can I just enter in here and say, damn, DreamWorks has gotten a lot darker than Pixar. I'm just saying, their movies are dark, but this is a new level.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
I was expecting, when they said they were making another Shrek movie, this is not what I was expecting.
Oh no, yeah, this is definitely the best one.
Yeah, easily.
It takes everything you love about Shrek and goes 10 times higher.
Yeah, totally.
course.
It's the
Why
dark
not?
and gritty Shrek reboot we've all been waiting for.
Exactly. Shrek noticed the still crying Baragon, rolled his eyes, and stepped on his neck, executing the poor little kaiju. Meanwhile, Donkey was having his hands full of terror beast as he was laying out punches and delivering back kicks. Spyler ran over to attack Donkey when the wisecracking animal backhanded the orange and blue alien. This action sent Spyler flying into the sky and
Hold
explode.
on. How does Donkey backhand anything? It has hooves.
Back hooving then.
Well,
That's
to quote
cartoon
Peter
logic, that's
Griffin,
why.
who the hell cares?
Yeah.
This
Back
match
hooving.
doesn't make any
Cartoon
sense.
Yeah. Back hooving. This action sent Spyler flying into the sky and exploding due to how useless he is. Oh boy, here comes Gamora. Shrek rushed over to assist his friend when he felt slamming him to the ground.
Someone.
Yeah, someone slamming him to the ground. The ogre rolled over to see Gamora, letting out obnoxious roars as he was throwing pathetic slaps that didn't faze Shrek or any other combatant for that matter.
Let me get some water.
Oh boy.
Is everyone here drinking something?
Gamora screamed like a toddler before throwing a tantrum while snot, tears, and spit were flying out of his face and onto Shrek. Oh, that was good.
That was perfect.
That was great.
That did not disappoint.
Uh,
Shrek was immediately disgusted by this embarrassing creature and said,
You're not even worth fighting.
The ogre then pushed the crybaby off of him as Shrek continued to trek over to the terror beast. All the while, Gamora was laying on his stomach, repeatedly slamming his fist on the ground, crying. Zandola charged his drill at the currently distracted donkey, who was fighting the other terror beasts. The drill monsters charged. Oh, what was that?
Hello?
The things I do
That-
for
that
you
was-
people, I
Oh,
swear.
that hurt my ear. That was really loud.
And Kaiju X disappeared. Oh, never mind.
Oh, I'm here.
Uh,
Can you hear me?
Did you make sure this is recording, right?
Yeah, this is recording.
Oh, the lunch cap is on. We gotta do take 2, everyone.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
I can hear you.
Yes.
Okay, good.
What?
That's all I need to know. So, the lens cap is not off. I'm just letting you know. The drill monster's charged, hoping to claim the title of the ass murderer.
I'm laughing too hard.
Oh,
That's a very prestigious title.
See,
course.
Kaiju, I was able to sneak in the sexual innuendos.
yes, yes, you did. The drill monster's charged, hoping to claim the title of the ass murderer, but Donkey knew what he was up to and jumped in the air to avoid the impaling. Zandola, without even realizing, drilled into Wagyogar's stomach, causing the long-necked kaiju to let out a screech of pain. That wasn't all, as Zandola still couldn't stop himself as he continued running until he found himself stopping. His drill was stuck in a huge tree with the mangled remains of Wagyogar still attached. Oh, this is Zandora. Who is Zandora?
Yeah, he's good. This is just one line of Zandola.
I'll take
This
it.
is definitely coming out of my paycheck, and I'm not looking forward to cleaning all of this.
Zandola complained while trying to get himself
Out.
What a whiner.
Shrek caught
Well,
up
to
to
be fair, he's stuck in a tree. That's probably the worst way to go if you have a drill for a head.
Yeah. Shrek caught up to Donkey and said,
Nice work, Donkey. Still not as impressive as my count. You got a head start. And besides, I'm just warming up.
Donkey retorted.
All right then, let's get back to work.
Shrek said while cracking his knuckles as the two got ready to attack the last two terror beasts. Then the Earth Defenders, known as Anguirus, Rodan, King Caesar, and the two Ultramans and the tremendous Godzilla appeared next to the beasts. Then, as if angels were singing out, the mighty warrior known as Atsuno Ikusagami descended from the skies. The warrior pulled out his amazing sword as Shrek just simply nodded.
Ah, you want to play that game, don't ya?
Shrek said while pulling something out of his back pocket.
I can play that game too.
The ogre then pulled out a blue-colored lightsaber. The combatant's eyes went wide with shock at seeing the powerful weapon emerge, while Donkey commented,
I don't even want to know where you got that.
Shrek and Atsuno charged at each other and clashed blades. The two were locked in combat for what seemed to be minutes, but Shrek quickly gained the other hand by delivering a hard punch to the warrior's torso. This caused Atsuno to stumble backwards as Shrek leapt the defenseless warrior and impaled Ikusagami's headpiece. Shrek held onto his finishing move before pulling out his lightsaber, and the warrior dropped to the ground instantly.
Useless.
Yeah, a god, useless. Shrek and Donkey then charged at the kaiju that were in front of them, as did the opposing force. The ogre got ready to cut down the kaiju when all of a sudden he felt something digging its way in his back. Shrek let out a mighty ogre roar of pain, forcing himself to having stop himself and letting Donkey take on the group. The ogre turned around to see it was the demon itself, Kumasagami. Shrek looked back at the demon who had just stabbed him and gave him a very angry look, along with some growling and grinding his teeth. Kumasagami saw the ogre's expression and for once felt something he thought he would never feel. He thought he would feel before. Never thought he would feel before. Fear.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Please don't hurt me.
Kumasagami cowered as he began asking forgiveness for the sin he had committed. Shrek continued to give him an angry look, breathed in, and said,
Oh yeah, I forgive ya.
Kumasagami breathed a sigh of relief when the ogre then opened his mouth.
for stabbing me in the back.
Shrek ripped out
Woo!
Shrek ripped out the arm of the demon used to impale him, causing Kumasagami to let out a roar of pain as he held up lava pouring out of the stump. The ogre fully turned with both of his lightsabers and his newly acquired sword. Kumasagami readying his other hand as a sword to make his for a last defense, but it was hopeless.
I'm just imagining like Star Wars duel of fights. Da da.
Yeah, totally.
Da da da.
Shrek slammed both of his weapons onto the demon and splitting him in half. Shrek then turned his attention to Donkey fighting the group of kaiju and rushed to join him. He only hoped that he didn't get interrupted yet again. The capital. Pass.
Nagoda? Nagola. Someone want to take over the messenger role for Nagoda?
I'll take it.
Oh, yeah, he disappeared.
Mr. Prime Minister, the people are requesting a speech regarding your decision to invade the ogre.
Great shot.
The messenger said while Shin was fixing his toupee and looking on his phone.
Do I have to? I don't feel like addressing anyone today. They're all bad. I hate them. Even though they love me.
Shin Godzilla voiced his complaint.
Yes, Prime Minister, Mr. Prime Minister, you have to, otherwise your approval will go down.
No, it won't. Why is your voice changing? It's weird. I don't like it. Please change it back to the original. Everyone knows that I'm the best Godzilla, and no one ever dares to say anything bad about me. Otherwise, they're just a hater.
Shin retorted. The messenger had to think of a way to convince the Prime Minister to come out, and luckily for him, an idea popped in his head.
Think of it as getting more people to become fans and be more on board, forcing Dai to pay for the WoW.
Shin nodded his head and said,
I still don't like your new voice, but you're right. I'll come out and give the people what they want, which is me, because they all love me. It's great. Fantastic.
Shin the messenger walked out of the conference room and down the hallways. They entered one with multiple paintings as the Prime Minister turned his head to the messenger.
You see these? These are some of my favorite paintings. They were created by wonderful, wonderful people, and they're a treasure to this great nation.
Shin said, pointing to one of the paintings with him standing from the side, as a bottle was on his backside spraying out the liquor while he was smiling. The other was of
Hideaki
Anno without a shirt on, riding an Evangelion. The messenger opened the front door for Shin as he walked out with a mixture of roaring applause and angered screams. Shin simply gave them all 2 thumbs up with his very, very small hands and a very fake-looking smile while walking over to the podium.
Hello, everyone. I'm glad you're all here for this very huge day.
Shin said while portions of the crowd cheered.
I'm happy to announce that the wall is being built, and Dai is paying for it one way or another.
Shin continued. Right away, multiple news media outlets all called upon Shin to answer their questions when the Prime Minister pointed at one.
You.
Saperstein news outlet here. So how exactly are you going to get the wall built when the company you're trying to make pay for it has been bankrupt for years?
Shin Godzilla stared at the reporter blankly before saying,
Now could I answer that? And next question?
More reporters started calling out his name before he picked another.
Can I do this one?
Sure.
Fake news alert here, and to follow up on Dai, why have you banned certain kaiju like HD Gamera, Gyaos, Iris, and Legion, even though they clearly had Toho citizenship?
Jesus Christ, that's way too many emotion. I don't like people like you. You're a bad hombre. And to answer your question, they were a threat to our country and our people, so I had to get them out of there.
Is that the
Yep.
same guy?
Yeah, same guy.
But they actually helped contribute vast amounts of wealth during the 90s. And they're fairly popular with the people. Banning them for whatever reason that seems unmoral and unconstitutional.
For fuck's sakes, That's very scary. I like it. It's very loud. They did everything wrong and already insulted kaiju everywhere, so I sent them back to their studio of origin. Next question.
Whew.
I'm sorry. I'm still a little stunned. Shin asked before picking another news representative. You recently sent an army of kaiju to attack an ogre who you claimed is a terrorist.
Nothing more about it.
Shin answered, trying to cover the real reason on the attack. That wasn't what I was going to ask, but we received some reports that the Grogas are currently assisting with the invasion, even though they've been known as ruthless beings who want to see us exterminated. All while the Zone Fighter is nowhere to be seen. Thoughts?
First off, the Grogas are terrific aliens. They're just misunderstood. I sat down and had a few dinners with them, and let me tell you, they're wonderful people. They're really nice and willing to help. Willing to help you with anything. Second off, Stonefire is a member of the terrorist organization, Ceridia. That is not only a threat to Toho, but a threat to the peaceful Grogas. He's been chasing them from their home planet, Peaceland. I mean, that's what they tell me, so I took the necessary steps to send our forces after him.
This isn't in the match, but I think it should be said. I hate you. Huh. And have you apprehended Zone Fighter so maybe we can get his side of the story? The reporter asked, with suddenly, as is known, was Gray Shot in disguise.
We're gonna try and apprehend him, but not question him because he's obviously just gonna give us fake answers. Also, we'll kill him if we have to, which we'll most likely will. Next question.
News here, and we're wondering why there are only a few members of Ultraman Nation assisting in the battle. After all, they are strong allies of Toho, with some of them even having dual citizenship.
Let me tell you about Subaraya. They've been really unfair to me lately, so I stopped watching their shows and only allowed to follow them out into our country. Next question.
I guess
Nagoda.
Nagoda.
Yes.
Nagata.
Hello?
Hi,
Yeah.
can you hear this one?
You there?
Hello? Can you hear me?
Yeah,
we can hear you.
Nagata.
Where are we at? I was gone for a bit.
Emissaries Daily.
Okay. This is my line, right? I guess.
Yeah.
Your line of dialogue.
Emissaries Daily here, and we're wondering why you're still defending your controversial choice of using old sound effects in songs that clearly don't belong in your movie, in which they make the movie unoriginal and a bad example for future filmmakers, instead of providing a fresh, new identity for yourself and the movie.
Great shot.
Great shot.
You gonna read Gray Shot?
Oh, sorry, I thought that was all one. The reporter said, causing Shin's right eye to twitch and let out an extremely loud stock roar.
You're a fake review. Fake review. The conference is over. I'm gonna go back inside and insult people on my tweeter.
Shin Godzilla angrily announced as he then disappeared in the capital. Cut to Shrek's swamp. Shrek jumped up and impaled Gorosaurus with his lightsaber, who then fell over for a third time. Yoga prepared to attack more kaiju with his weapons when a volley of beams and missiles struck him, causing his weapons to be destroyed. Yoga went on his knees as the beams continued to incapacitate him. Donkey turned around to see where the loud explosions were coming from when he noticed 3 mechs firing up on his friend. The donkey was pissed off at seeing them hurt his friend, so he charged into the nearest one, which was Mogera. The mech stopped firing due to knocked over.
Due to being knocked over.
Due to being knocked over, and not due to the kaiju known as knocked over. And soon enough, Donkey grabbed onto Mogera with his powerful jaws. Right away, Donkey began swinging Mogera like a ragdoll. Within seconds, the mech was destroyed due to awesome damage done to it.
Awesome damage.
Yes, awesome.
Oh, it was awesome. You guys should have seen it.
Shrek felt the beams dying down when he then looked up to see Donkey has taken one down. The ogre rushed over to the still firing mechs, grabbed a hold of Kiryu, and shoved its head in the deep depths of his armpit. Despite being an undead machine, oh my god, Kiryu could not smell the wretched scents that came from the pit, causing actual tears to come out of the eyes and, of course, gagging. Seconds later, Shrek removed Kiryu from his grasp, and the result being that the mech's head was completely disintegrated. Mechagodzilla 2 quickly fired
And I just triggered Great Shot.
Gonna be alright over there, buddy?
Mechagodzilla 2 quickly fired its Mega Buster Ray at Shrek, who ducked as the beam landed on King Caesar's eyes. The golem stumbled back, but felt the power changing in his eyes as he fired it off
Charging.
at Shrek.
Charging.
Charging in his eyes if he fired it off at Shrek.
Stop
Hoping
trying to
to
make me look bad.
trust me. I don't need to. Hoping to either end the monstrosity or wound him terribly. The ray hit Shrek directly in the face, and everything went quiet when Shrek started to laugh maniacally, when his eyes started to glow. King Caesar's mouth dropped in shock, as before he could do anything else, he was hit with the beam and reduced to ash. All that can be said was that he went the way. All that can be said was that he went the way of Pyrrha Nikos.
Why?
I don't get it.
Why would you do
Pass.
that?
It's a Ruby reference.
I know. That's why I asked why.
The heck is
Shrek then heard the roars of Anguirus, Radon, Titanosaurus,
okay?
Spider Uros, Jikoro, both Ultra Banners, and the mighty Godzilla.
Who hasn't done jack shit yet.
Give me a second.
As he saw them charging towards him,
Again.
the ogre slammed his hands into Anguinus' head, causing
right.
him to lose his footing and go unconscious. Shrek then felt millions upon millions upon millions upon millions upon millions of bullets bouncing off his skin, and noticed that Junkero was the culprit.
Junkero.
While the bullets didn't hurt him, they gave him unpleasant vibrations. Those are not good vibrations.
Ooh. This massage parlor sucks.
The ogre grabbed the nearest kaiju, the kaiju nearest to him, which was Titanosaurus, and used his incredibly long neck as a shield. The bullets tore right through the neck, causing the aquatic dinosaur's roar to quiet down due to his vocal cords being shredded. Shrek then threw the deceased Titanosaurus at Jacaro to distract it, as the ogre then rammed his fist through its torso, causing it to deactivate. Godzilla fired an atomic ray at Shrek, causing the ogre to fall down to the ground as he then fired one. Rodan, the two Ultras, Bannons, and Spider Euros joined by firing their beams at the downed ogre. Donkey saw Shrek down on the ground yet again and rolled his eyes on having to save him again when huge rumbles were heard. They just weren't any rumble, but rumbles that belonged to larger individuals. Donkey saw Heisei Ghidorah, Death Ghidorah, Dagora, Space Godzilla, Destroya, Biollante, and most overhyped of them all, Ghidorah.
Not just any Gazora.
The Ghidorah.
Yes.
Also known as Grand King Ghidorah, if you didn't know.
Grandma King Ghidorah.
Grandma Queen Ghidorah.
These were the biggest, baddest, and toughest, strongest of all the kaijus, installing fear or disappointment to many fans. But there was one thing that everyone knew about them. They were known as the Bulky, Not Fat Squad.
Now I'm just imagining the one scene in SpongeBob where Grand King Ghidorah is like standing in the line at the bar, and he's like, "Welcome to the Salty Spittoon. How tough are you?" And Grand King Ghidorah leans on and goes, "I had a bowl of Godzilla. Yeah, so what? Without any milk." All right, that's what he said.
Others finally arrived too. Jaguar touched down and gave everyone a thumbs up. Gabara let out multiple annoying roars, announcing his presence.
Yeah.
King Dong. King Dong pounded his chest and let out a thunderous roar. Yorin rolled into battle, and some others like Goliath and the two Gargantuas walking in, the ones that no one cares about. And I think that's everyone
that
important
seems-
enough for this match.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, sure.
The firing squad stopped to see if they have slain the ogre, but it was the biggest mistake they've ever been made in their life. Shrek leapt out of the newly born crater and slammed the two Ultramen's heads together, leaving them in
Ow,
phase 3.
ow.
Shrek slammed his fist down on Spyro, squashing him like the bug he is. Shrek charged towards Rodan and Godzilla, with the former being able to get out of the way. Shrek rammed into Godzilla, laying down a volley of punches, bludgeoning the, quote, king of the monsters, close quote.
Order.
Anguinus opened his eyes, shook his head, and looked around his surroundings. He noticed the corpses of a lot of his friends and enemies. The spiky dinosaur turned around to hear his best friend's cries of pain. As he quickly rushed over to save Godzilla, Anguinus jumped up and bit down on Shrek's shoulder, causing the ogre to roar in annoyance and stop his beating on Godzilla. Shrek laid down a few punches on Anguirus's head, but the dinosaur only sank his teeth deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper into Shrek's skin, even to the point of drawing blood. Shrek eventually managed to yank Anguinus off his shoulder, while the Earth Defenders still struggled. The ogre then rearranged his hold on Anguirus by grabbing his tail and began swinging him as he was charging up his momentum. Within seconds, Shrek threw Anguinus into the sky, but not before the flying Anguirus tore right through Rodan, instantly killing the pterodactyl.
Finally,
you got the
Grayshot
points.
died.
His one line.
Anguinus
No, Grace, that's one line.
Hey.
Anguinus couldn't feel himself stopping as fly
He flew.
fly past the sky.
As he, I think I meant to put as he flew past. Oh well.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think it's gonna be a long, long time till Anguirus touches down and has to find he's not the kaiju he thinks he is at home. Oh no, no, no.
He found himself flying to the highest points of space.
Which shouldn't even be possible.
So did he
Yeah, it was
finally
almost-
become a Gamera?
Yes, he finally became a camera.
It was almost like he was shooting stars. Shrek turned to see Gamera running towards him, readying to fight. Then he grew a smile. The ogre ran over and held Gamera with a huge bear hug. "Oh, Cousin Larry, I didn't know you were going here. This is a really good day. Tell me, how's your family?" Shrek asked excitedly, squeezing Gamera harder and hard, with his body pressed against his bumpy skin. Air was escape. Gamera's
escape.
body. Yeah, I know. As his eyes then exploded due to the pressure, and seconds later, Gamera was suffocated from Shrek's might. Shrek looked at the now limp Gamera and said, "Cousin Larry? Cousin Larry?" He didn't get an answer when he looked more closely, only to find out it wasn't who he thought it was. "Oh, my mistake then," Shrek then said while dropping the corpse of Gamera. Pass.
Harles.
Where are we at?
Shrek
Shrek
turned to see
turned-
Donkey.
Okay. Shrek turned over to see Donkey struggling against the bulky, not fat squad. The ogre rammed into Space Godzilla, caused him to fall down to the ground like a fat ass. Dagara and Duskadora turned and opened fire on the ogre, but he immediately rolled up. Ultimate! Oh, sorry.
It's GBC.
Out of my way, you beeless bee. You B-list villains!
Shrek grabbed the two, squishing them like Play-Doh as it ran towards the heavy hitter known as Grand King Ghidorah. The two Ultramen weakly got up, rubbed their heads, and looked at each other. You know, this is completely stupid. Why did we agree to do this again? Ultraman asked. We agreed because Shin was going to invade our home if we did. I think. He wasn't really clear about that. Seven replied. Figures. Ultraman replied, well, then he heard the bawling and turned to see Gamora start crying like the little baby he is. Ah! Both Ultraman facepalmed themselves with Seven saying, you know he's not going to stop till he wins, right? Yeah, I know. Well, what the hell do you want me to do about it? Ultraman asked with annoyance. Just do what you did in Miss 56. Since in that, like in that last match, we're practically useless. Well, I'm pretty sure you're more useless than I am because I don't have a color timer, but still. Seven pointing out. Ultraman sighed and said, Fine. At least don't get us out of this stupid story quicker. We'll be assimilated or dead. Whatever. I don't care. As long as I get out of here. The two all just walked over to the whitest kaiju ever. Of all time. Seriously. This guy is so annoying. They placed their hands on him, merging their essence with him. Gamora's quiet and stopped as he felt power flow through his veins and he jumped with a slightly different look. I can stand. I have the power. I can fight! No, I got something better. By the power of Ultra, I have the power! Yes, Gamora shouted.
That was good.
Please.
That was just these lightning bolts.
Be
Shrek grabbed the
mad.
hold of the destroyer and was giving him a pink belly! Much to the mutated crustacean's dismay. Jet Jaguar noticed that the great and powerful ogre was distracted, so he shrunk himself down to microscopic size and began running up Shrek's back. Shrek socked King Ghidorah, Destroyer, whatever, in the mouth as he
I
felt
went
something
through
right
3
on his
kaiju.
King Descastora in the mouth as he felt something right on his back and immediately tried to reach for it, but to no avail. Jet Jaguar easily dodged the ogre's attempt to remove him, and when he got to his face and jumped inside mouth, doing the unthinkable. Shrek let a big old belly laugh and said,
You playing that game? Damn it. You playing that game, ain't ya? I got another game for us to play.
The ogre's arms began to stretch for miles like the Mr. Fantastic as he shoved them down his own throat and grabbed Jet Jaguar before he could do any damage for him. Shrek pulled the machine out of his body and let out some odd choking noise, like, and stretched him back to his normal height. The ogre noticed the recovering King Ghidorah Destroyer rushing towards him when he turned to Jet Jaguar to face him and activate his liquid nitrogen breath. The breath instantly froze Destroyer, causing Shrek to use Jet Jaguar as a hammer and shatter the crustacean to a million pieces like Mario from Donkey Kong. The ogre then reached inside of Jet Jaguar and pulled out his wires, thus deactivating him, throwing him to the ground like the useless pile of junk that he is. Mothra Leo.
Holy shit, I completely forgot about them. That's why, kids, you never do big matches like these. It never ends well.
It doesn't.
Circled around Shrek, firing their beams, giving it everything they got. Unfortunately for one of them, the usefulness suddenly came to an end when Mothra suddenly exploded into pieces. While Mothra Leo turned into emo Mothra. No! Mom! Everyone turned around to see a mech that I can't even begin to describe, known as Gunhead. I've never even seen that movie, so I literally don't know what it looks like.
So who wants to be Gunhead?
I can do it.
Alright.
Hey everyone! I'm here to help and stuff like that appear! From the looks of it, the mech was clearly drunk and began firing its weapons wildly as all the kaiju went to find cover. Shrek and Donkey smiled knowingly at each other as they could use the mech to their advantage. The two again began to smoke the kaiju out, quickly finding Space Godzilla doing a hellacious 420. Hey man, when it's blazing time, it's blazing time. Before the comic story could do anything, Donkey and Shrek smashed his twin crystals, This caused Space Godzilla to roar in pain while the shattered pieces of the crystals took a life of their own, thus forming Obsidius and Crystalak.
Since apparently they could do that in certain forms of media, or was that just an anniversary match, Red? I don't know. Nobody gives a shit.
But their lives are fairly short-lived as Shrek and Donkey smashed them to pieces. Meanwhile, Space Godzilla cried in anguish, "My babies!" They turned their attention back onto the comic story and was struggling to get back up, crying openly as his two children were smashed to pieces. As Shrek then pulled out his shotgun, Shrek then old yelled at Space Godzilla, and the old yelled at Space Godzilla's head, cleaning it right off the body. The two found Mechagodzilla 2 and Grand Ghidorah firing their weapons on them. Grand Ghidorah admittedly doesn't actually have weapons per se, but whatever. Mothra Leo soon joined, and so did EX Gamora, with an ear-piercing and annoying roars. I'm here! Shrek and Donkey engaged the four combatants, laying down the usual punches and such. It's getting lazy. Meanwhile, Godzilla stored himself away and noticed the remaining powerhouses fighting the two. The ones who were responsible for killing his friends and not him, leaving him alive to this horrible, godforsaken fight. And Godzilla getting to his feet, sighed, stopped his fingers, and became Super Godzilla because he knew he wanted to leave, and he was honestly sick and tired of having his friends die all the time. This is like what, the 8th, 9th, 10th time all his friends have died. And you know what? Pass.
Dakota.
Dakota love. He's like, fuck this shit, I'm out. Fuck this shit, I'm out.
Super Godzilla.
Someone left.
Super Godzilla fired off.
Well, at least we know someone's been paying attention.
What?
Exactly.
Super Godzilla fired off a Nova Beam.
Wait, is it my turn or?
Yes, it's
Yeah,
your
it's
turn.
your
Yes, it is your turn, Nagoda.
I wasn't paying attention. Okay, Super
You're busy
Godzilla fired
whacking
off. Nah, I'm trying to keep my tortoise from dying right now. He's trying to go under a bunch of stuff. Super Godzilla fired off a Nova Beam at Shrek, causing him to be sent flying into Grand King Ghidorah, who then smiled at the three-headed King of Terror. Shrek grabbed GKG by his three heads and threw him to Leo, trapping the poor butterfly. Donkey let past Mechagodzilla 2 and back-kicked it in a typical jackass fashion and into Shrek. Shrek let out a very gassy burp that short-circuited everything in the machine, thus powering it down.
And I triggered Great Shot yet again.
Yes. EMP burp. Okay.
Then the unexpected happened. Mechagodzilla 2 was instantly lit on fire, since the burp was flammable, and Super Godzilla fired another Nova Beam at the two. EX Gamora launched his very sharp and long tail while whining like a crybaby he is. As Shrek easily did a Matrix dodge, as he then grabbed the tail and impaled the incapacitated Grand King Ghidorah and Leo, almost like a shish kebab. EX Gamora struggled to get his tail out of the corpses of the two mortal enemies, as he then tried to fire a super whatever the hell is called ray at Shrek, but merely absorbed it with his eyes. Shrek then aimed it at Super Godzilla and fired the beam point blank at him. The beam collided into the powerful Saurian as he felt himself slipping away, and finally found the sweet embrace of death. Now he'll never be in a shitty match again. The powered monster's eyes went wide with shock as Shrek killed the king of the monsters.
Quote unquote.
And now, quote unquote, king of the monsters. And now felt himself being grabbed.
Oh.
Shrek threw EX Gamora with GKG and Mothra Leo still hooked to his tail out of the planet and heading towards the sun. EX Gamora eyed the sun with happiness and was drooling.
The sun, my beauty, how I long to be with you and how I long to harness your power. I would love to be part of it again. And hot, my love, you're hot. My love, you're too hot.
Within seconds, Gamora was reduced to nothing, along with the remains of Grand King GKC apparently, and Leo. And my Twitter is just the
Uh,
same.
And his
he
winning
changed.
streak.
The remaining kaiju looked at Shrek and Donkey in horror, as they had just defeated the most powerful combatants like it was nothing. The two of them looked at them with smirks on their faces when Shrek stepped up to them.
This is the part where you want I'll run away.
Whispered,
Dakota.
instilling. I'm reading. Installing. Shrek whispered, installing fear into their eyes. Gororin started rolling as fast as he could. Sanda and Gara began running past trees. Daigoro did whatever he did because he's a fat hippo.
Because he's
Heisei
useless.
Kingedora took. Yes. Heisei Kingedora took to the skies, and Balante.
Holy shit! Why do I keep forgetting about certain kaiju? Look at my previous notes and never do big matches like this. It will only bring you pain and misery.
Yep, it does.
That is
Balante
true.
tried to fade away.
I think we gave him a good enough head start. I say we finish up business.
Donkey said.
Oh, I certainly agree.
While Donkey began chasing Gororin and the Gargantuas.
Did you hear that epic Rogue One music?
Of course. Powerful fighters that he should have not fought when a gunshot was heard, and he felt himself falling down. He noticed his right foot was blown off, and that gunhead was standing above him.
Harl.
Very nice job!
Gunhead drunkenly said while pointing his 4-pod rocket launcher at him, and firing it at the blue monster. This caused the kaiju to explode, as the mech then said,
See you next fall! Woo!
out before collapsing due to the amount of alcohol it drank.
Oh, and boom!
Gunhead yelled out, shooting the still fading Balante, and turning her into a firework of explosions before passing out. He
Yeah.
bit down on what?
Again.
Yeah, again and again.
Hmm.
Donkey bit down onto Gororin, who panicked as his spikes were clearly not harming him. He then threw the spiky ball monster at Gyra like a baseball, as it went through the green gargantua's skull. The monster instantly dropped dead, as Sanda briefly looked back at his brother being dead and couldn't help but breathe a sigh of relief. Sanda was getting really damn tired of Gyra eating people and not getting out of the house and eating his trees like a good kaiju. The brown gargantua turned his head forward, only to find himself tripping over a rock and falling over. Sanda tried to get up, but he realized he couldn't move one of his legs.
My
My
leg!
leg!
My leg!
Sanda cried out as Donkey caught him to the
My
brown
arm.
gargantua. To the
My
brown
leg!
gargantua.
Oh, my leg! Bald! Bald!
The donkey got caught up to the brown gargantua and got a hold of him. Donkey, not wanting to waste any more time, threw Sanda into the swamp, where he felt himself starting to sink. Sanda used to not belong to anyone, but now he did. He belonged to the swamp for all eternity, as it then devoured the brown gargantua. Heisei Ghidorah heard the cries of the remaining fighters and assumed they're dead, meaning he was next. The three-headed dragon flapped his wings faster in hopes that he'll live to fight another day. However, luck was not on his side when Shrek leaped up beyond Ghidorah and repositioned himself on his side with his elbow aimed at the dragon. Shrek flew down, elbow first, into Ghidorah's body, breaking every bone in his body. The two dropped to the ground as King Ghidorah whimpered from the excruciating pain. Could do was use his eyeballs to look at the mighty ogre lord that stood before him. For the first time in his life, he felt fear and disgust at himself.
And hunger.
Ghidorah and hunger. Ghidorah hoped for his and thirst because of Gunhead's alcohol.
Hmm.
Ghidorah hoped for his fate to be quick and painless, to be a quick and painless one. But it seems Shrek had other plans as he knelt down to him.
Oh, I'm not gonna kill you. You're just gonna be retired. Again.
Shrek whispered, causing Ghidorah to whimper even more as the ogre then walked back to his home. Shrek started
And
his
I
trek.
just triggered Harley for saying that.
You probably did.
My baby! I was gonna do so many great things with you. Legitimately great things this time. I was gonna let you win! I'm fine now. Fuck him.
Hold up.
I think someone else is dying.
Shrek started his trek when he heard a legendary roar and some earth-shattering footsteps. The ogre turned around to see legendary Godzilla staring at him with anger, and he had a feeling that this would be a challenging fight. The two powerhouses stared at each other when they charged at each other. When they then charged at each other. Yeah, I'm messing up a lot of words right now, aren't I?
Mm-hmm.
The two were creating their own mini earthquakes with each step they took. Shrek and legendary Godzilla were about to clash into one another when all Shrek heard was snoring. He looked down to see that the legendary Godzilla was fast asleep.
And that's why they don't let old people fight.
Shrek simply said as he resumed his trek back home.
That was quite the fight, wasn't it, Donkey?
Shrek asked, only to notice Donkey was nowhere in sight.
Donkey?
Shrek asked again while looking around, only to be hit in the back of the head by a black and white skeleton-like creature that no one remembered about.
Ow! The back of my head!
Shrek yelled out as he turned over to see Monster X standing behind him somehow.
Shrek, look out!
Donkey yelled as he
A little
struggled
too
to
late
escape.
for that.
As he struggled to escape Gazora's grasp, while Shrek screamed out in pain as massive jaws sunk his flesh. Orga felt Shrek's DNA flowing into and in all his battles and all the monsters he absorbed. He never felt power like this. Shrek was feeling weak from the hideous creature. If he didn't do something soon, then all this would be Orga. Using whatever strength he could muster.
Boo!
Oh, shut up! You're just jealous.
Maybe.
This is getting Tom levels of lawn. Lord have mercy.
But actually enjoyable.
But
Debatable.
it's actually good.
Yes,
Again,
don't worry about it.
debatable.
While I'm reading this, I'm slowly updating. What's his name? Greyshot's wanted poster. Where was I? Using whatever strength he could muster, he expanded his arms and reached behind Orga. He grabbed a hold of Orga and threw him a few feet away. Shrek turned his attention to Donkey, and Shrek turned his attention to Donkey. Was struggling to break out of Gazora's grasp when Gorosaurus leapt him earlier. Shrek hardly paid him much attention as he just backhanded the T-Rex, causing him to fall over yet again. Shrek rushed over to the cuttlefish, but felt himself falling due to Monster X's gravity beams burning into his flesh. Shrek let out a mighty ogre roar as he crawled helplessly towards his friend. Why is Monster X so powerful in this? Monster X fired another
It's not
round
an
of
MM match.
Yes, that explains it. It's not an MM match. Monster X fired another round of gravity beams, causing Shrek to scream, while Orga, who was starting to have green show up on his body, walking towards him. Monster X fired one last round of gravity beams on Shrek, completely incapacitating him as he placed his foot on his back. All the while, Orga put his massive hands on Shrek's back and sunk his teeth into, causing Shrek to once again roar in pain. Shrek's DNA began pouring into Orga's body as he felt the awesome power of the ogre. Orga's body began to transform into the green ogre, but something started to feel strange about him. Though strange to him, he didn't feel Shrek's power anymore. It was something different, something trashy and of despair. The green in his body transformed into a reddish color as Orga roared out in a twisted form of pain. However, he couldn't stop himself from absorbing more of Shrek's DNA while his allies just watched. Orga's large hands transformed into hands that were similar to Shrek's hands, but red hands. The same went for his legs and body. All that was left was his head, as Orga felt all that he was, his thoughts, memories, and capabilities disappeared. It was at that moment Orga knew he skrunked up. I'm pretty sure that was just censored, wasn't it?
Oh no,
Probably.
on me it says fucked up.
Oh, it's censored on my screen. It was at that
You must
moment
have the
Orga
censored
knew
version
he
then.
fucked up. Orga was no more as a reddish-looking Shrek known as Drek took over and let out an ogre-filled roar.
Roar.
See,
Drek then,
perfect villain.
Yeah.
Very
Drek then,
enthusiastic.
yes. Let me add bad acting to his wanted list really quick.
I think
Yeah, for hurting our
good.
overlord.
Let's continue.
Okay. Uh, um, Drek then
then.
began wailing on the downed Shrek as he would be the one to ultimately kill Shrek. Shrek growled out in pain from the repeated punches, but couldn't do anything to stop it as he felt himself fading away. The ogre began closing his eyes when he then saw a costumed hero with fabulous hair known as Megaloman standing in front of him. Shrek guessed he wasn't physically there or real due to him not being attacked by the others.
Shrek, today is the day you fall. Oh, I mean, Shrek, today is the day. I mean, today is not the day you fall.
Megaloman
Make up
said
your
with a
mind.
voice that sounded
Make
very
up
much
your
like
mind.
Keith David with his hair flowing fabulously in the wind.
I
Shrek tried to say when Megaloman interrupted him.
You are not only a warrior and a beamed legend, but the avatar of this world, as I once was for this world in a different time.
I don't understand.
Of course you don't, you big, stupid, ugly ogre, but you're the one that the world needs. So I shall pass down power that was passed down to me centuries ago.
Megaloman said as he removed his fabulous hair and bestowed it upon Shrek. Shrek found himself regaining his strength at extreme speeds while the three villains noticed the ogre gaining his strength. Shrek was soon found hovering as all three villains could watch while Megaloman's hair grew on his head and power began to erupt from him. He opened his eyes as they were now orbs of pure light. Shrek touched down to the ground and looked at the kaiju and said,
Check yourselves before you Shrek yourselves.
Cue the Attack on Titan theme.
"Should I pass now or should I keep reading?"
It's up to you.
You can do whatever.
I'll do another 5 paragraphs
Okay.
and then I'll pass.
Ooh, fancy.
Shrek had just gone Super Saiyan as he flew at Gazora with his fists crackling with pure energy. The Ogre Lord punched straight through the cuttlefish, erasing Gazora from not only our universe, but from the whole damn multiverse.
Wait,
Wait, who was he talking about?
Zora.
Donkey was dropped from the mysterious unknown creature's
I get it
grasp
now.
as he breathed out heavily while watching his friend go Super Saiyan. Shrek turned his attention to Monster X, who quickly fired multiple gravity beams, but they simply bounced off the ogre. The mighty ogre laughed at the pathetic attempts as he then grabbed Monster X and threw him into multiple existing KWC matches, causing him to spend an eternity losing, most of them being MM matches.
That's good.
Super Saiyan Shrek turned to Drek, who growled angrily at how he was able to recover his strength. No matter, the red ogre flew towards Shrek, as they then clashed with the two exchanging punches and kicks. Shrek fired the Kamehameha whatever beam at Drek, causing the red ogre to fall down to the ground. Shrek touched down to the ground as he got ready to lay down some punches when Shrek used a powerful back slap on Shrek, sending him miles away. The red ogre observed his surroundings and roared with anger.
If
Very
I
sharp.
can't kill you, then I'll destroy everything and everyone you love.
Ow, the fucking edge.
Oh,
Pass.
sorry. Let me add more. If I can't kill you, then I'll destroy everything and everyone you love. There you go.
Ow, the fucking edge.
Pass.
Shrek then fired crimson red beams from his eyes at Shrek's home, destroying it instantly along with the remains of the wall. The red ogre then fired upon the swamp, causing it to boil rapidly until it was completely dry. Shrek then turned his attention towards the limping donkey as he smiled with a sinister grin. The red ogre fired his crimson beams at Donkey when he felt the beams changing direction. His beams were now firing up as it hit the giant condor, turning the bird into fried chicken.
What sort of mockery is this?
Shrek roared out as he realized Shrek was behind him.
It's all over now.
Super Saiyan Shrek roared out as he opened Shrek's jaw wide open. Shrek then opened his own mouth, and out came an endless supply of onions, bending Shrek's body to the point where he couldn't take it more. The result being Shrek exploding into pieces, accompanied by a thunderous boom, and everyone cheered at Gray Shot's demise.
I'm noticing a trend here.
The dust settled as all that remained was Shrek, who went back to his normal self, and Donkey limping towards him.
Shrek? Yeah, donkey?
Shrek asked with a tired expression in his voice.
We did it. We sure did. What do we do now?
Donkey asked when all of a sudden they heard a roar.
Ah, come on.
Yeah, what he fucking said. King Kong stood erect. No, I'm not talking about his donkey. If I did, I'd say expanded. Give a big round of applause for Godzilla vs. Zilla for coming up with this line.
Woo!
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Who wants to be Kong?
I'll take Kong. Bet you
You'll take
forgot
Kong?
about me, huh?
Kong asked.
And me too.
Gorosaur said, jumping up behind Shrek and Donkey quickly. Received a punch by the both of them, sending him falling back to the ground.
I'm not gonna sugarcoat this anymore. I'm tired. Donkey is tired. We're all tired. So I'm just going to end this.
Shrek yelled out as he quickly transformed into Super Saiyan Shrek and delivered a punch to the area. The punch was similar to the one he performed on Ghidorah, yet something far different. King Kong was gone, and Shrek transformed back into his regular self.
So what do we do now?
Donkey asked.
We continue to work. We continue work on the wall. I get the feeling this whole reason they evaded is because they didn't want us working on it. I'm not going to give them this satisfaction.
Shrek said as him and Donkey began walking over to the ruined wall. The capital. Dakota, you're lying?
Mr. Prime Minister.
The messenger said while stepping into Shin's office. Just a minute, I'm looking at my pictures. I'm looking at pictures of my hot form 5. My younger wife, Pogasari. Shin said while still looking at his phone.
It's about the invasion.
Oh, how did that go? Did we win? Shin asked.
No, sir, we did not. Just about everyone we sent is dead.
The messenger said. Oh, your voice changed back. Thank God. That other one you did a while ago creeped me out. Too much motion. Oh well, Shin said.
What do you mean, oh well?
The messenger asked.
Wait. What do you mean, oh well?
The messenger asked with annoyance in his voice. I got tired of that invasion 5 hours ago, just like how I got tired of being president after my first day. Shin answered.
You motherfucker.
Louder, we need to hear you. Emotion, head. This is your breakout line.
Emotion.
Yeah, say it like you mean it.
You mother scrunker. I'm reading it as how it says on my screen.
That's what it says on mine.
Yeah, no, that's what it says on mine.
Yes.
I must not have the censored version.
I think.
Yeah, mine is censored for some reason.
Pardon me,
What?
Shin asked.
What did he say?
I said, pardon me? Shin asked.
I don't get how people love you. You are completely lazy, hypocritical, and just a downright terrible creation. I don't understand how people love you. There's nothing special about you. You just do shit and do whatever you feel like, and that gets you a million views. You know what? Fuck it. I'm done. I'm out of here. This is complete bullshit.
The messenger yelled out as he stormed off. Shin just sat there, unaffected by his messengers, shrugged his shoulders and said, he's just being a hater. He doesn't understand Comrade Anno's vision. And now to read the credits. With the song Come With Me by Puff Daddy playing. Written by that one asshole in the fandom who thinks it's not a good movie. Edits provided by Gosh Darn It and some assholic with a one-sided username. That one awesome sentence for Kong provided by some assholic with one-sided username. Attack on Titan thing provided by the show. What were you expecting? Hope track provided by that awesome Star Wars movie. That's the same guy who made the American Godzilla film. That fans loved the bitch at, even though you know you liked it. Come on. Come With Me. The only thing that was somewhat good about that terrible '98 film. But you all know that All-Star had to be there due to Shrek, otherwise that one guy would have complained. Huge thanks not only goes out to not only gosh darn some asshole and some assholic with a one-sided username, but the worst fandom ever of all time, with the worst website form ever of all time. Now you're probably all wanting something after the credits because that's the standard nowadays. I can't give you an end credit scene, but I can tell you a few things for the sequels. But I won't do anything about it unless the demand is high. Because writing this was already a pain in the ass, but I'll tell you some ideas. There will be either 1 or 2 sequels with the titles being Shrek vs. Comic Eden, Dawn of the Shrekness. Credit goes to some assholic with a one-sided username for coming up with it, and Shrek vs. Shin Godzilla with the Shrektastic way. Oh, and Bruce Campbell will play a larger role for the sequels. Now go and bitch about this on the internet. Winner, Shrek, and myself, since I'm sure people read this.
Oh
The
man,
end.
that was a long one. That was great.
And somehow it went by faster than Match 200.
Somehow it did. I don't even know how.
Because it was better.
Yeah, because it was a good match.
I will admit the writing was far superior.
Exactly. Aside from a few typos,
yeah,
which I
aside
admit was
from a couple
bad on me.
like there are a couple
Except
goofs.
for a few horrible typos, yes.
Yeah, a couple of like technical goofs.
I admit that's kind of a flaw in my writing. I kind of write too fast for my own good. I kind of miss it.
Yeah.
We will accept this for now.
Right.
Oh, I don't need your approval. I'm the one in control, so it stays. It stays. So, since we provided thoughts with all the other ones, let's rip her away.
Oh,
This was an amazing match. This was a
Yes,
great
it was.
match. The best match.
Okay. I'll let everyone else go first because I'll let mine be the last one.
All right, gotcha.
Well,
so
I think I heard you.
yeah, this match was. That was pretty good. That was pretty good. There was like a lot of, I don't know. I'm a little bit more down for the crazy, goofy, wild stuff, but I did like there is this weird sort of story purpose to it too, especially the Shin Godzilla side. That was great.
Yeah, I remember one person saying, "Why was there so much effort thrown into this?"
Yeah. So it's like 12,000 words. Why was there so much effort thrown into this? Yeah, this match was fun. I was kind of surprised to see Donkey and Shrek being relatively in character. I don't know why. I was expecting more of the internet Shrek. The disturbing.
I think that was part of the deal you and I had for me posting this. I couldn't really do the whole Shrek is love meme, so I just kind of.
Oh yeah.
And even then, the whole movie personality was more or less my intention for.
Oh yeah,
Shrek
totally. Which works nicely here. Which works really nicely. I'm like surprised I found legitimate humor spread throughout the whole thing.
Shrek and Donkey have best chemistry in a KWC match.
Easily.
yeah.
Okay, really quick. I need some help with this. I need some more crimes that Grey Shot committed.
He assaulted our Ogre Lord.
All right. Let's see. Joe, how'd you think of the match?
I thought this was a great match. As I've said a million times before, this is the greatest thing to ever be written.
Yes.
But just being serious for 1 second, this was a great match. I really love the humor. I think the humor is the best part in my opinion, since it is an April Fool's Day match. And all the humor is just great. And
You cut out there, GBC.
I'm just thinking. uh,
I will say this. I will give big credit for GBC for saving me on a few typos. Like, you remember the part where Shrek was getting Jet Jaguar out of his throat?
Yeah.
It originally said threat. I'm really thankful GBC caught that for me.
uh-huh.
So
well, at
imagine
least it's not like Mothra, where instead of best, it was breast.
Or just Seven, or Ultra Seven's one line of dialogue before they merged with Gamora, just saying 7.
Yeah.
So yeah, I will say that. Yeah, I thank GBC for catching some of those errors I made.
You're welcome.
Harlan,
though
what
he
do you
didn't
think of
catch all
match
of them.
69?
What did I think of it? It's a masterpiece. The greatest match. Compare it to 164 in terms of quality.
Ew.
It stands right next to match 164 as the two pillars of what the presents.
But Harley, there's one thing you forgot.
What?
This was actually funny.
Yeah.
And
Well,
enjoyable.
you can't all be winners. I said it's the pillar. It's the pillar. It's the two pillars of the KWC. What to do and what not to do.
Oh.
No argument
Gotcha.
there, then.
Yeah, great shot. Don't ever do 164 again. Unless you decide to multiply and have, what,
Do it
164
better.
times 2.
I think it's 200.
164 too.
But I'm only an accountant, so
A large number.
I'm pretty sure it's 200. But I am an accountant, so I am
328.
bad at math.
I will say-
328.
Oh, 300 and...
28.
128. We're already reached that
Yep.
point.
I will say this. I am thankful that 164 is the only bad match of Great Shot. All the other ones are actually good.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Well, okay. So can I? Do you mind if I enter my
go ahead.
opinion?
Yeah,
Okay.
go ahead.
I thought you wanted
So-
to go last. Okay,
No.
all right. I mean, we still got Nagoda here waiting for his opinion.
I mean, listen. Do we really need to go to his
Who
opinion
cares
here?
about Nick Goda and his opinion?
I
Didn't pay
care.
attention.
And this is why people want me to be the head of the KWC. Everyone's opinion.
Okay, Nagoda, speak.
Wait, so,
Do it.
well, it was that it was pretty funny. It was interesting. We had some really good. There were some really good lines in there, and some. I don't know how to describe it.
Well, I don't think you can describe it because it's
Yeah, I
basically
can't
just
describe it. It's that good.
yeah, it just blocks the whole
Don't
KWC
really
wall.
describe something.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
the way I see it. It's basically a stupid joke that GBZ, Kaiju and I came up, turned into a stupid match, but somehow turned into a hilarious execution.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, the one thing I would say is that I did not enjoy the Paranicos part.
Oh. You know,
Well-
when we're all reading this, I only expected Gray Shot to get that reference. I did not know you were going to get it.
That,
Yeah, I
that
watched
hurt a
Ruby
little
too.
bit.
Yes, it did.
Wait, Nagoda,
Yeah.
make an image with King Caesar dressed up as Pyranikos.
Ah.
Because
I'll
I
try.
needed to show it to someone who loves Pyrrha. Just make them upset.
Okay. I'll try.
And was that everyone besides Gray Shot?
I think so.
Yeah, I
Yep.
believe that's about everyone.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, Gray Shot. It's your turn now. You've been
Okay, so
patient.
as the person in charge of the KWC, obviously my opinion matters the most. Therefore, what I'm about to say, you shall pay
No, it
attention
doesn't.
to.
It's
I know
law.
the crime to Gray Shots thing really quick.
So,
Okay.
essentially for this match, I'm going to compare this to 195. Or no, not 195. Oh yeah, 195 and 200. In regards to 200, I would say it is superior easily. Primarily on the note that this has a story. It's more. It actually is. It's more coherent, which you.
Yeah, which we all told you it was coherent.
Yeah. Like there is a story. I wouldn't say it's. I wouldn't say it's bulletproof plot hole wise, but it is there.
That's the point. It's supposed to be.
Oh yeah, like
Yeah, it's supposed to be.
That's what we're concerned about.
And it does provide a lot of humor. More so than 200, I think, ever did. Maybe than one line.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I also like that he didn't make Shrek 100% like completely and boringly invincible.
Oh well, you got to have some suspense in there.
Yeah,
that's why I had Orga, Monster X, and Gizor come out to basically be the ones to fuck him over.
All the kaiju that MM hates.
Well, and there's also the fact that I had Donkey assist.
Donkey.
So,
and to be fair, I did have some of the kaiju get rid of them, kind of commit suicide because they didn't want to be in this stupid match. So
yeah, like the Ultraman who were like, "Nah, we're just gonna go."
And Godzilla who just went, Godzilla just went, "Fuck it." Oh, and then there's Gunhead who basically just kind of made things worse.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry to interrupt, Rachel.
No,
okay, fine. You interrupt him all the time.
My major note for this is in regards to I'm not a fan of crazy for the sake of crazy, but I understand I'm not in that. I'm in the minority in this.
Blasphemy! Blasphemy!
Oh, definitely. I get you.
So that's why a lot of the crazier elements of 195 were kind of put on hold, and that it basically comes down to the writers of the KWC just fighting each other. Yes, the city is one area, but I think that was just for background, and then obviously the powers in regards to Tom, myself, and Anthony. But that was it, primarily.
But yeah, when you say crazy, that there was crazy in my match, but you have to admit it was kind of more or less.
Yeah,
grounded
it was,
for lack of a better term.
It was, and listen, it's actually it was well written compared to compared to Tom, who basically apparently wrote it without an edit.
Oh, thank you.
There is a reason why there you do look over your work, because it's not funny when you can't understand what the writer is saying.
Yeah, which I did, even though I admit I made a few mistakes. You could blame that on me. And GBC.
Yes. But I also want to make note, 195 apparently had less, because we only had 3 times where we made fun of. Where this one, we had at least 7. But no.
But here's the difference,
no,
Rachel. I'm at least able to accept my mistakes and cherish them. But yeah, sorry to interrupt.
Well, as he dies in the hole with his mistakes, yeah, no. This was a good match. It's not personally something I will adore, but it is a good match, and that is something I can't deny.
Yeah, the crazy was at least made to your comfort level, so to speak.
I don't know. I will say there are a few moments just like, what in God's name is going on now? For instance, Orga apparently eating Shrek and becoming Drek. I can hear you laughing. I can hear you in the background.
The thing that, there was actually a video that involved, it was some stupid video I watched a few years ago that involved Shrek and Five Nights at fucking Freddy's, small things, where all of a sudden Shrek was defeating the animatronics, and then all of a sudden a red ogre named Drek showed up and Shrek was fighting it. I'll have to show you the video.
What the heck? That's weird.
I need to watch this now.
I'll try to find it and post it in here. But yeah, I'm glad you all liked it.
Yeah, I liked it.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, this was a really, really fun read. Nice refresher, too, because I do remember the first half okay, but the second half was a little muddled. So.
Here we go, the updated Zone Grey Shot Wanted poster. You may notice some font changes. I have those fonts on my laptop.
That's perfect.
Yes.
I changed the voice channel. I changed the voice channel to reflect this momentous occasion.
You know what? You know what? You know what? Just this gave me the idea of. You know how
What?
this
Yes.
match. You know how I have like images of the banners for the matches.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm good with Shrek versus a lot of monsters. I'm just gonna have this wanted poster right up here.
Yes.
That works.
Come to think of it, yeah, a lot of that actually does incorporate it into the actual match, like insulting the Ogre Lord, murdering Garogas.
Yeah, totally, totally.
Uh-huh.
Oh man.
And bad acting.
Listen, when you're a talented actor like Rayshot, sometimes you participate in really stinker movies.
I hate you all.
We love you too, Gray Shot.
We love you too, buddy.
And oh, good glory, that was KWCE number 069. Thy Lord
The
Shrek
greatest match of all
versus
time.
a lot of monsters. One of the best KWCE matches, one of the best KWC matches, one of the best fanfics ever written. We will
One
see.
of the best
All the
stories
above.
written in our history of literature.
Yes, William Shakespeare would be weeping.
One of our best things ever made in our
Yes.
existence.
Yes.
This is what aliens will find on our remains and find this piece of art.
Yes. They will interpret it in many ways.
They'll
This is
worship
what
it. They'll worship it like it was meant to be.
Yes.
This
And
is,
we will see
this
you
is
guys tomorrow.
Do you have
for-
any preferences on which King Caesar you want?
Do you think if the aliens discover our ancient remains, they're gonna see Greyshot with tear tracks down their skeleton because he was crying so much?
They're
Nothing
gonna
is
see
out
a
of the
bunch of
realm
sidelines
of
on you. Don't worry
possibility.
about it.
They're either gonna see that, are they going to see a skeleton that somehow looks mad, like his physical skeleton looks mad.
Man, that must be
The
some
thing is, it's not gonna
hardcore.
be mad. It's gonna be sighing.
That's some hardcore genetic engineering right there for that to happen. But anyway,
That's good. Dude, that's gonna find Greyshot skeleton. They're gonna be like, he was sighing about something. I don't get it.
yeah. See you guys tomorrow for the next video that comes up or whatever.
I'm just reading the freaking wanted poster. That's all I'm doing.